Coming up on this edition of the Newsfeed, how a local church in Radford is trying their best to give back to the community every month. Plus, why this spring we'll be seeing higher prices on eggs and how it's affecting local businesses. And how Virginia Tech has commemorated the memorial of April 16th after 2 years. Those stories and more are just ahead. Hello, and thanks for joining us for this edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Karani Sheree. A local church in Radford is giving back to the community every month. How First Apostolic Church is making a difference, Newsfeed reporter Michaela Shelton is live with us with more on this story.
Thanks, Karani. The First Apostolic Church of Radford has a free clothing bank for those in need every month. The clothing bank has gently used clothes for everyone, from children to adults.
Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
The First Apostolic Church of Radford's monthly clothing bank is the only one of its kind in the NRV. Colleen Lester started the clothing bank out of love for others.
I love people and I just want to be there. I want them to know that I'm there for them no matter what.
A kind of love that comes from once walking in their shoes.
I come from that kind of a family, a broken home. I know what it's like to be on that side, and I just wanted to reach the community.
Danielle Carter, member of the church, said that clothes aren't the only benefit people get from visiting the clothing bank.
They all leave with at least smiles on their faces and a lot of clothes.
Clothes that come from donations made by church members and locals.
We've accumulated a lot over time, but it's nice to have that many. That way we can help more, because the more people come, the more they get and like and can use.
If you or someone you know is in need of clothes, the clothing bank is open to the public every fourth Saturday of the month from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. There are no requirements or documentation needed. Reporting live for the Newsfeed, I'm Michaela Shelton. Back to you at the news desk.
This pandemic has brought its fair share of shortages, but this one you may have to pay a little more at the checkout line at your local grocery store. A widespread bird flu is causing farmers to kill a lot of their chickens. As a result, the price of eggs are going up. According to the Consumer Price Index, the price of meat, poultry, and eggs have gone up by almost 11% this year. With this price increase, many local restaurants are spending more on their ingredients. Workers at Our Daily Bread in Roanoke say this shortage has yet to impact them.
That's all I've really noticed was like the tea shortage. Honestly, I have noticed like a few little like things raise a little bit, but like I'm not too sure if they would like change in the future because of it.
While some restaurants are not seeing huge impacts at the moment, it may be harder to find these items at an affordable price. Local restaurants just want customers to be understanding of these changes that could impact the price of your next meal. During the pandemic, many dining rooms had to shut down and offer their services via drive-thru. As a result, there are longer lines in fast food restaurants around Blacksburg. Many restaurants have opened back up, but Cookout in Blacksburg remains closed, only offering the drive-thru and walk-up window. Newsfeed reporter Gavin Linden with more on this story.
Starting at the beginning of the pandemic, many fast food restaurants went to drive-thru only for customers wanting to have a fast meal. Places like this Cookout in Blacksburg are still sticking to the drive-thru only service, not offering any sit-down dining for customers. This has resulted in longer lines of people waiting for the drive-thru, making people wait up to 30 to 45 minutes at some times during the late night hours. Virginia Tech student William Rabins was offering advice for the management of the Cookout in Blacksburg.
I think that the lines would go down a lot. I think that if people could go inside, that you could get some of the people working for the inside, some of the people working for the drive-thru, and that way I don't have to wait as long when I want to come get some food.
During the late night hours of operation, Cookout is well known for its extended amount of long lines. leaving people questioning to either wait in the long line or find an alternative for a late-night meal. The regional manager of Cookout did not reach back out to me for questions regarding a time frame of reopening the dining room for guests. Local Blacksburg resident Zachary Blevins spoke on his suggestion for what Cookout should do moving forward.
I mean, aside just making sure that the inside's always open or doing a outdoor window like Roanoke, I think that it could definitely help to, if they could afford to staff the people, to just open up a second drive-through line.
This is Gavin Linden reporting for the newsfeed.
Just ahead on the newsfeed, how students on campus can take care of their physical and mental health during finals. And how Virginia Tech has commemorated the memorial of April 16th 2 years later. That story and more after this break. Welcome back to the newsfeed. I'm Karani Shri. With Virginia Tech's 2022 graduation coming up, many seniors have yet to receive their stoles, tassels, and other accessories needed for their ceremonies. This has caused a few problems for those seniors when it comes to making plans. Graduating seniors were able to pre-order their graduation items and pick them up on March 30th. When many went to pick up their items, they were surprised to see that some things were missing. Some seniors were missing stoles altogether, and others were given the incorrect year on their tassels. This has caused many seniors to push things back, like their graduation pictures.
Back in February, I pre-ordered my cap, gown, and stool, and when I went to go pick it up, they didn't have my stool and they gave me the wrong tassel, so I've had to push back my graduation pictures just because I didn't have my stool.
Herf Jones had a backup in shipment, and the rest of the items are arriving April 19th and April 20th. The bookstore recommends that if you need your items before then, you can purchase a new one and return the one you pre-ordered. Correct tassels, stoles, and other items will be available for pickup later in the week. For the first time since 2019, Virginia Tech is able to have remembrance events in person. With a large turnout for Hokie High weekend, campus is expecting a big turnout. Newsfeed reporter Jet Willingham with more on this story.
For the Virginia Tech community, April 16th is a day that will always be remembered. This April 16th was a little different, however. Throughout the entire day, members of the Virginia Tech community have stopped by the April 16th Memorial on this Remembrance Day. This is the first time Remembrance Day activities have been held in person since 2019. In-person events this year included a midnight candle lighting ceremony, a wreath-laying ceremony, the 3.2 for 32 Remembrance Run, and a candlelight vigil. Future student Mariah Smith says seeing how the Virginia Tech community comes together to remember April 16th is very important.
It's really cool to see everyone coming together. Obviously, this is a huge occasion, a big tragedy, and seeing everyone come together, it's a real community. And as an incoming student, I really like seeing that.
With it being Parents' Weekend, Spring Game, and Remembrance Day, many alumni were on campus this weekend for the activities as well. Mariah's dad, Mark Smith, from the class of 1988, explains why coming back from Remembrance Day activities is something he wanted to do.
Restrictions from all the COVID stuff being lifted. It was something I wanted to do, and so this was the first opportunity in several years, as he mentioned. So I felt it was just a good time to come down and see the campus again, visit my son, and participate in these ceremonies.
Virginia Tech's softball, baseball, and football teams all had moments of silence at their games on April 16th before play began. Reporting for the newsfeed, I'm Jet Willingham.
With finals coming up, stress levels of students are rising. According to the mentalhealth.net, students reported exams being a source of stress. What can Hokies do to offset that? Hokie Wellness has a guide for students as they go through finals, which acknowledges stress and incorporates self-care. Though some students experience stress during finals, according to a study, other students are not experiencing the same levels of stress. Laura Castro, a student at Virginia Tech, says finals are not as stressful for her.
More so comes in the middle of the year when I feel like if I haven't gotten into like a certain groove for a class, then I'm like, am I going to be able to pass this, etc.
Hokie Wellness's guide mentions acknowledging stressors is helpful to addressing them. Some activities the guide recommends for stress reduction are resting and spending time with friends and family. That will wrap up this edition of the Newsfeed. If you have a story idea for the Newsfeed, let us know. Send us an email at thenewsfeednrv@gmail.com. And as always, you can connect with us, the Newsfeed, on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for watching. I'm Karani Sheree.